Okay, so we're live on YouTube, everybody.
Mm. Mhm.
All right, so let's do this. I don't have a poll today. If anybody has a poll suggestion that they'd like, why don't you throw it in the chat and I'll see if I can pull it together. But in the meanwhile, this is our last town hall for the year just because of, Christmas falling on a Friday, then New Year's falling on a Friday, and those being holidays. So as you exit 2020 and as you enter 2021, how are you
That's okay.
feeling? Rename yourself to how you feel as you think about leaving 2020 and entering 2021.
Mm-mm. You ready?
All right. So again, as we're waiting for others to join us, and as you're thinking about leaving 2020 and entering 2021, I'd like to have you rename yourself to how do you feel? Like one word or two words that describes how you feel as we exit 2020 and get ready to go into 2021. And then also, it might be worth putting yourself on mute unless you're wanting to talk or wanting everyone to hear kind of what's going on. And we'll get started in a couple minutes. Good riddance 2020. That's great. Again, if you're just joining us, this is our last town hall for 2020 because of Christmas and then New Year's. So because of that, I'm asking you to rename yourself. What are one or two words that describe how you feel as you leave 2020 and go into 2021? Blessed beyond measure, hopeful. Let's get out of this year. Whoo, we made it. That's a good one. I like that. That's awesome. And as a side note, Bessie, are you able to be on for the whole call today?
Yes, I am.
Do you mind potentially sharing your screen in a little bit?
Sure.
Okay. It's going to be for the PowerPoint that you put together that we had used at the board meeting last night, if you want to pull that out.
Okay.
Well, the sneak is $10.99 here.
So I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to mute everyone just to knock out our background noise for now. Again, if you're just joining us, please, in the idea of this is our last town hall for the year. We made it through 2020. That's remarkable. That's good. Certainly we should celebrate that. But since Christmas and New Year's fall on Fridays, we're not going to be meeting again until January. And so I'm just curious if you would rename yourself to one or two words that describe how you feel as you leave 2020 and get ready to enter 2021. Blessed and opportunistic, blessed beyond measure, build the better and recovery, cannot wait. It's awesome. Goodbye and hello, grateful and hopeful. Awesome. Peace out 2020, positive thoughts only, power greater than myself. Yay. Grateful. A lot of people on today. This is great. Today is a new day. Time to move on. Ooh, we made it. I almost feel like we could build a song out of these. You know, we could do a group project here. That'd be cool. Okay, so I don't know if you've ever had one of those days, or if today is one of those days you just feel like you've gone from thing to thing to thing, or, you know, those 24, 48, 72 hours. Today is one of those days for me. So thank you to all that have contributed to today's town hall and getting it prepped and ready. I have seen your emails, which is great. I just haven't had a chance to respond to all of them. But thank you for that. And I'm hoping that today is a special time for all of us as we do take time to think about 2020 as well as look towards 2021 and really celebrate what is happening in the life of St. John's. And I feel very grateful as we're all together and we have the opportunity to come together in this virtual community that we were building and be able to have these town halls. And as I mentioned before, we're going to look at the format differently going into 2021 and probably broaden out the participation. But I just want to say I really have appreciated these town halls. I've appreciated the contributions of everyone that has made it a point to be on the call, to say something, to share something, whether verbally, whether in the chat, however it was. Really appreciate. This has been a group effort all the way through since the pandemic started. And it's just been a really special time, I think, in the life of St. John's for us to use this negative in the pandemic for a positive for our organization and to pull closer together. So as we normally do, we will once again kind of take an opportunity to talk about COVID and its impact on St. John's. So I'm just going to pull that up and thank you, Precious, for getting that prepped. Everyone had a board meeting last night, which went really well, but it was also a busy evening. So I appreciate Precious taking the time to pull the data together so that we can kind of speak to what's happening. As I said last week, I was afraid for where this could go. And this week's stats kind of reinforce that fear, if you will. We're seeing cases higher than what we have seen since the start of the pandemic. And that's consistent with what's happening across the country relative to the surge and just everything happening. So let me just run through the numbers for you. In terms of people we support, in DC, we have 3 cases, which is actually down 1 from last week. And then in hospitalizations, we have, for people we support, 1 with COVID and 1 without. And apparently the 1 without is a different person than last week. So it's good to hear that 1 person is recovered, is out of the hospital. At the same time, another individual is in. And then staff positives are up to 8, with 2 hospitalizations for staff, and 1 of them is in the ICU. And this is just in DC alone, okay? Delaware, fortunately, still at goal 0 and no cases. So that's wonderful news for our Delaware teammates and the people we support there. In New York, we have 1 person that we support with an active positive case, and that's up, 1 from last week. And New York has been doing really well throughout the course of the pandemic in terms of active positive cases. And for staff positives, they don't have any as well. Tennessee, for people we support, we have 2 active cases. We are doing some mass testing down there, so we'll see what that reveals. Unfortunately, we don't have anyone hospitalized there. Staff positives in Tennessee, and I just want to take a second for this to just, resonate with everyone, is up to 14, which is up 5 from last week. And fortunately, we don't have any hospitalizations. And then Virginia maintains at goal 0 across the board, and people we support in active in staff positives. So just to total out those numbers, just so that we can all take a second and reflect on what's happening. Total people we support across all states is at 6 active cases. with 2 people hospitalized, one from COVID, one not. But the staff positive numbers are up to 22, and with 2 people in the hospital, one of them being in ICU. So this is the worst that we've experienced by far. What I'm having to share with you today is the worst we've seen yet. And my fear is that it could still continue. And, for every team member, for every person that we support that has an active case, there's family and loved ones who are concerned, obviously, and trying to figure out how to care for them or are separated them because they're in the hospital, but whose hearts are heavy right now. And so obviously this is all incredibly alarming, and we need to do everything we can in our power to be able to kind of try to stop the spread within St. John's. And what we're doing, what's been happening is that we've been having a higher number of unannounced virtual and physical visits by oversight agencies, families, as well as our own team leaders. And what the result of that has been is that we're finding more and more staff not wearing their PPE or not wearing it properly. They might have the mask below the nose, whatever it might be. They might not be wearing a mask, which is a mandatory thing. If you're on shift, whether you're in a home or whether you're in an office doing essential work, you absolutely have to wear a mask. That's just a non-negotiable. And we're also hearing that some staff have indicated they don't know or don't know where the PPE is or don't have it. We are in a really good position in terms of PPE and our supply levels. And even just this past week, another team, Kwaku, heading them up, went down to Tennessee to be able to retrieve PPE from down there to bring it up to Virginia and DC and make sure that we were well supplied. So we have PPE. And so there's no reason for staff to not be using it. We have it. And so it's mandatory that you wear it on shift, in homes, and also when you are in the office. Only for essential work in the office. And also, if for some reason you don't know where it is, don't be afraid to ask your supervisor, please. Okay. The last thing we want is for you to let the fact that you don't know where it is, hold you back from getting the PPE, which will both keep you safe and keep the people we support safe and your fellow team members safe. So it's absolutely important and critical. We are at a critical moment. The next time we come together is going to be 3 weeks from now. And my fear is what will happen in those 3 weeks. And so it's just really, really, really serious at this point in time. And the things at our disposal, the control that we have to move the needle and make a difference is the same tools and actions that we've had all along. It's wear a mask. It is sanitize as much as possible. It is maintain social distance, and it's cutting down on traffic in and out of the homes, right? And limiting contact. And I would also ask, as the holidays are coming up, just that be very conscientious personally. I know that everyone's tired of this, absolutely. I'm tired of it. You're tired of it. Everybody's tired of it. And a vaccine is coming. But in the best case scenario, I think the majority of people are not going to be able to be vaccinated, I think, until April. I think we'll have other people have the opportunity to get vaccinated, but prior to that, let's just have the mindset that we're not out of this, that if anything, we might only be 75% of the way through it, that we don't want more of our team members to end up hospitalized. We don't want more of our team members to get positives, and we certainly don't want the people we support to have positive cases or be hospitalized as well. And let's remind ourselves that this is a deadly, deadly virus. And if it's a game of numbers and percentages, then at some point in time, the higher our active cases go, the more that eventually we're going to have hospitalizations. And unfortunately, the more that we're going to have people pass away and we're going to lose people. We've already lost people. We've already gone through that pain, and we do not want to go through that again. So I'm asking all of us to do what we can in our personal lives and to do what we can, um, what is required of us when we're working on shift with St. John's. So I just want to pause there and just really reinforce the seriousness of our situation and ask for your assistance in helping to bring those numbers down once again. We're going to do something a little different. All right. So going back to our regular moment of silence that we would hold as we think about those that have active cases. And I want to, again, run through the numbers again. For people we support, 6 across the board, 2 people are hospitalized. And for staff cases, 22 of our teammates have active positive cases, and 2 of them are hospitalized, with 1 of them being in the ICU. So that's significant. I also want to take this time, as it is our last town hall together for the year, for 2020, just to take a moment to honor those people that we have lost this year, that have passed away from COVID or from other non-COVID related reasons. And these are both individuals that we support as well as our fellow team members. And so Bessie has a presentation. Before we pull that up though, I just need to be able to, I'm wondering if we did this last night at the board meeting, and we found it to be really quite powerful in terms of a community experience as we reflect on people that we've lost over the course of the year. So what I'd like to do is, Bessie has a PowerPoint that she's pulled together in honor of those that we've lost. And there are 12 people, if memory serves correct. And I would ask for 12 volunteers that would be willing to read out loud, take yourself off mic and read out loud what is said for the individual that when we get to their slide. And I can cue you. And I also, in sensitivity to, us, our collective focus on disabilities, I would also say that as opposed to reading it out loud, if someone would like to sign it, that would be also a very powerful experience to witness too. So feel free that if you would like to communicate that way, that would be great. Now, to get the volunteers, if you would raise your hand, okay? And what I mean by raise your hand is I think that where is it? Is it under participants? Reactions. So yes, thank you. If you would go to reactions, and I'll be looking at the participant screen so I can see the actual hands raised beside your names. And then if you would be willing to read, I will just call you out as we move through the presentation. So go ahead now, if you're willing to read, if you would raise your hand so that I can see, that would be great.
I think those things disappear after.
Yeah, I think that there's another way. Sorry,
way to do it.
Under more. Hold on, we'll figure it out. I thought it was under. Hold on, I'm just looking really.
Yourself as a participant, you hit raise hand.
Yeah, there you go. Thank you. Yep.
And that will stay there for the duration, but the reactions are only timed out for a few seconds.
Yeah, that's right. So thank you, Precious. Under participants at the bottom, if you click on that, you'll have the opportunity to raise your hand. I will see that. And then I will call on you as we move through. So let's go through, just take a second. Please consider being part of the group that reads. That would be wonderful. I'm seeing a couple of hands go up, which is great.
It should also show up in the top of the chat box if you have chat open.
Yes. Yeah. Okay. And then what I might do is call upon people if I don't have enough hands. Right now, I've got 2 that I see. Are there others that would be willing? Thank you. Thank you. I'm up to 4. Can we get a few more volunteers, please?
People contributing, looking on their phone might
Yeah.
take a while to find their hand.
Well, you know what we could do is I might ask people. Well, yeah, we'll figure it out. We'll go through this together. I think we're getting critical mass here, which is great. Okay, Bessie.
I'll monitor the chat if someone says it there, just
Thank
because
you.
I can't find the hand.
Thank you so much, Precious. That's great. Okay.
On my phone, it's under more, not participants. So that might help people too. It's under just like more options.
Okay. Yeah, and I'm seeing hands going up, which is wonderful. So, okay. Bessie, would you be willing to tee us up? There we go. Thank you. Okay, people we support. Bessie, why don't you lead us off with Trudy?
Trudy Mingle from Harlan Morris. On April 8th, Ms. Trudy Mingle, beloved mother of SJCS employee Sherry Fisher, passed away unexpectedly with her daughter by her side at the age of 88. Ms. Trudy was a devout Christian who loved living her golden years sitting in her favorite rocking chair in the sunroom, seeing her daughter at Harlan Morris every day, spending time with her friends, and participating in all the gospel sing-alongs that were offered. Her sweet nature will be missed greatly by all of us who knew her.
Thank you, Bessie. Okay, next slide. And I have an individual blessed beyond measure. If you would be willing to read, that would be wonderful.
Clifford Rogers, Bartlett, Memphis. This past September, we unexpectedly lost Clifford Rogers. We had supported Cliff for 19 years. Cliff was 69 years of age and a very gentle man. He enjoyed his home and loved his roommates. He enjoyed sketching, doodling, as well as interacting and communicating with the SJCS staff who supported him to live his best life. Cliff's friendly nature and sweet heart will surely be missed by his staff and his roommates.
Thank you. And Dwayne, would you read for Patsy, please?
Patsy began attending the day program at CDS in the early 1980s. In 2015, Patsy decided she wanted to live a more independent life. She moved into a lovely home in Martin, which she shared with 2 of her friends. Patsy was a kind and warm person who never met a stranger. To know her was to love her. Patsy worked at the Weekly County Press, a local paper, for 26 years. She was well known and well loved in her community. Patsy was diagnosed with breast cancer in 2011 and fought hard for 9 years. After her diagnosis, Patsy became a huge supporter of the American Cancer Society and the Relay for Life Cancer Walk, which she participated in for the past 8 years. Her perseverance, friendly smile, and loving heart will truly be missed. Patsy lost her battle on May 15, 2020.
Thank you, Dwayne. I guess the next person would be Good Riddance 2020, if you would read for Eugene.
So Eugene Malkin from Martin, Paris. Eugene Raymond Malkin of Martin, Tennessee, passed away on Tuesday, August 11, 2020. Eugene, 68, was one of the oldest living adults with Down syndrome in the world. His general practitioner called him a walking miracle. Eugene led a remarkable life and was a wonderful, hardworking community member. He enjoyed his work immensely, had a special connection with his coworkers and the patrons at McDonald's. He achieved the West Tennessee Supported Employee of the Year by accessing community employment services, for achieving independence in the community and his strong work ethic. Eugene also participated in track and field events in the Area 7 Special Olympics Games for nearly 40 years, and often assisted with the opening of the games by singing the national anthem. Eugene was often the life of the party. He enjoyed people and never met a stranger. He was a joy, and knowing him made me a better person, shared Wendy Bratton, SJCS Program Coordinator.
Thank you, George. Power greater than myself. Would you read for Max?
Max began receiving day services from CDS in the early 1980s. After his mother passed away, Max moved into a group home. There he met his lifelong best friend, Jim. In 2016, Max and Jim moved into their own home together. Max loved life and had a hilarious sense of humor. He never met a woman he didn't want to marry. In fact, Max had dreams of getting married in Vegas and meeting Elvis Presley while on his honeymoon there. In fact, Max had dreams of getting married in Vegas and meeting Elvis Presley while on this honeymoon there. Sadly, we lost Max, a true friend and beloved family member, on April 19th, 2020. His huge heart and loving spirit will be missed greatly.
Thank you, John. Woo, we made it. Would you read for Timothy?
Timothy Jones, Ithaca Shelter. Tim was a well-known community member experiencing homelessness in Ithaca, New York. He was briefly in a shelter with us in November when he suddenly collapsed. He unfortunately passed away unexpectedly at a regional hospital at the age of 38. He and his daughter, Sierra, have worked very hard to get to where they are now. The loss of her dad has been very heartbreaking for her, especially since he was so young. His legacy lives on through Sierra.
Thank you, Brett. Ryan K., would you be willing to read for Joseph?
Joseph Golson, Washington, D.C. This past year, we lost Joseph Golson, an individual we had provided support to for many years. At our first meeting, we kept calling him Mr. Golson. He told us, "There's no need to call him Mr. Golson." So we said, "What should we call you?" He smiled and said, "Just call me Joe." From that day on, we affectionately called him Joe. He was a kind soul and always told you what was on his mind. Joe prided himself in keeping a clean home and having a good presentation when he allowed people to visit. Now, Joe did not easily extend this invite to just anyone. This included service providers and surveyors alike. But once you were in his small circle of support, you knew you had a friend for life. Joe was a kind soul who enjoyed the simple things in life, and he will be missed dearly by the SJCS family.
Thank you, Ryan. And then we also lost a few of our team members as well. Shanice, would you be willing to read for Carolyn?
On July 7th, 2020, Carolyn passed away from a long battle with cancer. Carolyn worked as a personal assistant in the Paris, Tennessee program and provided support to her son, Philip Howard. Carolyn's incredible journey as an advocate for people with IDDD began on the day her son was born and diagnosed with Down syndrome. Carolyn was a true advocate for people of all abilities to have equal rights and to have their voices be heard. This was just one of her amazing qualities. She spent her life fighting for Philip's rights and the rights of all the people she supported. Carolyn will be greatly missed, and her memory will live on through our mission she so deeply believed in.
Thank you, Shanice. Amanda Newell, would you be willing to read for Diva?
Diva Minor Bartlett. Unexpectedly and tragically this past summer, we lost Diva, one of our incredible team members. She came to our team not having a whole lot of experience in the field itself. However, she made up for it with her heart and compassion. She was a treat to have in the room and get to know. She was a hero, champion, and beautiful spirit, a diligent and hard worker. Diva ensured the ladies she supported were active within their home and living their best lives.
Thank you, Amanda. And I think, Gloria, I saw you in the chat saying you were happy to read could you read for Steve?
Hi, can you guys hear me? Okay, perfect. Thank you. Steve Forrester, Martin Paris. Excuse me. John Stephen Forrester died Friday, October 2nd, from complications of COVID-19. And while we are heartbroken by his loss, we are grateful that he is at peace. Steve was born on September 6, 1948, in Batesville, Arkansas, to J.C. and Willie Mae Forrester. Steve was a college graduate, loved his family dearly, and enjoyed volunteering his time. He had several jobs throughout his life and many talents, but his true calling was to support people with disabilities at SJCS. His remarkably close relationship with Ron Hudson, who he supported and with whom he shared a love of basketball, was a testament to his huge heart and love for the people he supported.
Thank you so much, Gloria. Is there someone that would be willing to read for Mo?
Chloe raised her hand.
Oh, go ahead, Chloe. Thank you.
Mo passed away after battling COVID-19 for several weeks on May 5th of 2020. He left behind his wife and 4 children. Mo was a man of large stature and an even bigger heart. He was a strong and dedicated man to his work and to his family. He truly loved the people he supported. He referred to them as his family. It was his way to provide the best life possible for those he loved, his family and his SJCS family. Mo was always kind, reliable, and treated everyone with respect. The tragic loss of Mo and his beautiful heart will forever be felt at SJCS. May he rest in peace.
Thank you, Chloe. Is there anyone that would read for Ahmed?
Ahmed Kamara lost a battle with COVID-19 on May 25th, 2020. He left behind a wife and 2 children, as well as a legacy of the wonderful person he was and the principles he lived by. His love, loyalty, and dedication to his family and the individuals he supported rang true in everything he did and every decision he made. When we, SJCS, started experiencing positive cases of COVID, we only had 2 staff in one of the homes who were significantly impacted by the pandemic. Ahmad was one of them. The program director asked Ahmad all the other staff who called off, "How come you chose to stay?" Ahmad replied, "I can't just abandon my guys. If I leave, then there will be no one else." That was Ahmad. He always had the will, love, and knowledge to care for our SJCS family and his. The wonderful heart and strength he had will never be forgotten. Our gratitude could never be expressed enough for the sacrifices he made.
Thank you, Shirley. So let's just take a moment to remember not only those that have active cases or not in the hospital or ICU now, but let's remember those who we've lost in the course of the year, and hold space for them in your hearts and prayers and thoughts for them and their loved ones. If you would just join with me now. May they rest in peace. Thank you very much for participating in that, for helping us to remember And thank you, Bessie, for pulling together that presentation. All right. Okay, so segueing into happier things, obviously. And there are good things that are happening all across the St. John's. Want to just start by talking about I lost it, sorry. 1 second, I will find it again. Or actually, Precious, would this be a good time that we can go to our live on the scene? We wanted to celebrate the holidays. Are we able to do that?
Yes, we have waiting on site at the Chesapeake Northwest in the Spring Valley neighborhood of Washington, D.C., an on-site reporter, Sean Montgomery, who also serves as our residential team leader for that home, live on site, ready to share some holiday cheer at Chesapeake. I don't know if you were teeing me up, but I went for it.
I was teeing you up. Thank you. Thank you. I lost my tab. So yeah, if they're there, let's go to them. Are they there?
Sean's been there eagerly awaiting.
All right, where's Sean?
Can you guys hear me?
We can.
Yeah, did
Okay.
You
need to mute yours. Okay. So, hi everyone. My name is Sean Montgomery. I'm a residential team leader at St. John's Community Service. And today I'm here at Chesapeake House with the ladies. This is one of our smart homes. And as you can see right now, Miss SS is coming up and she's looking at her Christmas tree in her favorite movie. She loves her small Christmas tree that she set on her end table and it lights up. She has all her, can everyone see? Hello?
Yes.
Yeah, we can see.
Yeah, you can see.
Okay. Okay.
Speaker view is best for everyone if you want to take a good
Yes. So we have one of our ladies who had an emergency today. She's not home. And our other lady, Miss NG, she's being assisted with her ADLs right now. So we wanted them all to be here so that you could say hi. Say hi, Sharon. Hi, everyone. Say Merry Christmas.
Merry Christmas.
Christmas.
Merry
So
Christmas to you.
So Sharon and Nirvana and Clarice was participating in letting the staff know exactly where they wanted their decorations. As you can see, they wanted to string out some of their decorations across their windows. And each one of them have their little Christmas tree sitting on their end table with their bulbs and lights. And this is their Christmas tree. So they have their Santa and Mrs. Claus holding their Christmas bags with all their gifts in there. And that's not everything. They haven't finished wrapping their gifts and putting their stuff under the tree yet. But we did manage to get some things done. And also they wanted to decorate their dining area. Thank you, Cole Hernandez. Well, Sharon decided that she wanted to string out some of her decorations in her dining area across her windows. And as you guys can see, she put up her big Santa Claus where she sit and have her dinner, all her meals.
Awesome.
So she put her poinsettia on the table in her dining area. I think it's really pretty. And I think that's about it.
That's awesome.
And she also, I'm sorry, she also have their little decorations on their mantle of the snow houses and the snow churches. That's decorated. Also, okay, I think that's it.
That is so cool. And Sean, while you're on the call here, since you mentioned it was one of our smart homes, and I see Carl is there, can one of you share a little bit about what kind of technology you guys are using in that home?
Well, I'll pass that right on to Cole because he knows exactly everything that's in here.
See, you hear me?
Yes.
Yes.
So a couple things. We have a couple things here in Chesapeake we use. We have a Roomba. Actually, let me see if I can move my camera. There you go. So we have a window right there. The ladies use that to help clean their floor and things and such that nature. They're gonna need to actually get some of them pine needles up from that Christmas tree, and it's time to put it up after January. We have the smart TV right there. It's an Amazon built-in technology smart TV that also works with the Echo Tower over here. So you can either talk into the remote to change the channel, or just talking to the speaker to change the channel. But either ways, you just control it with your voice or your hand. We have another Echo Show in the kitchen area, along with smart bulbs attached to it, so they can turn the lights on and off with the voice. But you can still use the switch too. It works either way, or both ways. They have their Mac computer they use to practice their drawings and paintings, and also doing video calls with family and things of that nature. One of my things I like the most, surprisingly, is the smart microwave in the kitchen. So with the smart microwave, you can use any of the Echo Towers, dots, or shows to turn it on and set to a preset time to cook a meal. And on top of the microwave, we have another little Echo Dot, so it can be used to check on the ladies if they're in their rooms, because each individual room has its own Echo speaker.
That is awesome.
Oh, I forgot one more thing in the kitchen, the induction cooker. This is what the ladies use to help do meal preps and practice. It's a safe way of cooking without burning yourself.
Very cool. Well, Carl, thank you very much for showing us. We're pushing to get more of that technology all throughout St. John's. And Sean and Carl, please thank the ladies for welcoming us into their homes today. Their beautiful decorations are amazing, and we hope that they have a wonderful celebration, wonderful Christmas.
Surely will. Sharon, everybody says thank you for letting us in. She says okay.
Awesome. All right, cool. And then today is also Frontline Friday, and that was the tab I was trying to find before, but it's a special day. So this week we are highlighting Brianna Rinker. She has been a DSP in our Martin, Tennessee location for 2+ years. This is what Josh had to say about Brianna. Brianna is willing to do whatever is needed. She's extremely flexible. Anytime you contact her, she will do whatever is asked. She goes above and beyond her job responsibilities, working across multiple departments. She's very conscientious of the individuals she works with and always keeps their best interests at heart. And then we just want to thank Brianna. So give her some love in the chat. Make sure that you blow up the Facebook page and the share. Make sure you like and share that. But just thank you so much for Brianna for taking your work and your mission there so seriously. We are very proud of you and just very grateful to all that you do. So thank you so much. And then let's see, I wanted just to round out our highlights. I don't know how many of you so far, you can just put your hand up in your screen, but how many, or you can raise your hand, however you want to do it, have participated in any of our holiday events so far? Awesome. That is awesome. So we have a number of holiday events still going on. One this afternoon. So
I'm sorry, Alan. Can you either mute?
Yep, I'm on it. I got it. Sorry, I started hearing some feedback too. But I've had the opportunity to participate in 2 holiday events so far. I stopped into cocktails with Brittany, Christmas cocktails with Brittany, and then also joined Aaron as he was leading a session and teaching Christmas vocabulary, as well as some phrases through sign. And that was really cool. That was great. And I know others have happened already, and there's more to come. So I want to just go over what they are with you, so that you know that there's still time to get involved virtually through our holiday season events. Today, December 18th at 4 p.m., Delightful Delish Desserts with Chef Dion. Join and cook alongside Chef D as she tempts and satisfies your sweet palate with delicious cream cheese cookies. When you nestle in your beds, visions of sweet cream cheese cookies will dance in your head. So that's today at 4, Delightful Delish Desserts with Chef Dion. And then coming up on December 21st from 2 to 3:30, Winter Solstice Snowflake Making Craft Project with Kate Lowe. That's the Winter Solstice Snowflake Making Craft Project with Kate Lowe. That's a tongue twister. Nobody knows snow at SJCS better than the Ithaca team. That's true. Join in as they bring in the winter solstice with a fun and simple craft project that you can share with your families as everyone enjoys their socially distanced holiday season. So be sure to check that out, December 21st, 2 to 3:30. And then wrapping it up on December 22nd from 4 to 5:30 is the Judy and Jody Jazzy Jam. Judy and Jody Jazzy Jam. Music and dancing event led by our very own SJCS musicians. Special guest appearances to debut their musical and theatrical talents, and that's on December 22nd from 4 to 5:30. So you get into those. If you can, please join them. They are absolutely phenomenal. If it's not during your shift, please still make an effort to be there. It'd be great to have you. It's a great way to connect with coworkers. Again, I think it's so cool because if this was normal circumstances pre-COVID, then all of our different organizations or jurisdictions rather would have their own events. And that's understandable, right? But we have unique opportunity through these virtual events to connect with people from all across our states, the 5 states that we operate in. So you could be joining in on the Winter Solstice Snowflake Making Craft Project with someone from Tennessee and DC, and it's just an awesome opportunity to connect with your coworkers and teammates. So there's still time left to get involved, and please join in. So today, this afternoon, 4, December 21st at 2, and December 22nd at 4 o'clock. Also wanted to acknowledge that Voice ITT participants were extended to some Virginia candidates. So now Enabling Tech has now entered Virginia, which is phenomenal. And we will help lead the way with that and build that out into the future. So happy to hear about that. And then just a couple of reminders relative to Paycom, since this is our last town hall meeting, it's the last opportunity to remind you that by the end of the year, you need to confirm your address and W-2 preferences. Make sure that they're updated in Paycom, okay, since we're approaching the end of the year. You're probably seeing that message every time you log in on the employee service side, but make sure you follow up and do that. The W-2 changed this past year for 2020, so it's absolutely imperative that you make sure that your withholdings are what you want them to be, that they're correct, and only you can do that, okay? So make sure to do that. And just another reminder that Task did reboot their system a couple of weeks ago over Thanksgiving, and you should have received your new cards in the mail. If you haven't received your new cards, be sure to reach out to either Task by going on to their website and calling their 800 number, or you could also connect with our HR team and they will help you as well, okay? But your old Task cards are not working. They no longer work. So if you're going to fill a prescription or you're buying supplies of medical, whatever it might be, or you're doing a copay, you need to have that Task card. It'll help you so much. So make sure that your cards that you have them, the new ones, and that they are working. Any other announcements that anyone wants to make before we wrap up? Did I miss anything? Okay, let me just look and see. Does anyone have any questions before we wrap up?
You can talk about the boxes that we delivered and
the
thank
gift boxes.
Yeah.
Yes. So if you haven't already, you should be receiving gift boxes in the very near future that contain both a gift card as well as some SJCS swag. And I just want to thank Brittany, who took point on this and working with Jackie and coordinating and getting all the supplies for it. But we're really, really excited to get those into your hands. And again, if you haven't received them yet, is the best way for people to contact their supervisor, or should they just be expecting them to arrive soon? And are they going to their home or are they going to the office? Probably homes, right?
Well, so if anyone hasn't received their gift box yet, their house managers are out distributing them. So just be a little patient. For Delaware and Ithaca, those had a delay in delivery. So those should be arriving either today or tomorrow. And then your managers will be distributing those to you personally.
Great, cool.
In Tennessee, I believe Terry and Tanya are distributing those for the Martin Paris, Jackson, Bartlett locations. And I will be overseeing the Harlan Morris ones.
Cool.
Yeah, and DC staff, they've been blowing my phone up. So grateful for the gift and everything. And so I just want to say on their behalf, thank you very much. They really do appreciate it. Some of them, they say they almost fell out their chair, but they really appreciate the love offering.
Well, thank you, John. We appreciate everything that people are doing and all that they've done over the course of this year, particularly. This team across all levels goes above and beyond all the time. And we're just so proud of this organization and humbled by everyone's efforts. So, it's a small token of our gratitude, but we are just really grateful. And on behalf of the board, as well as the leadership team, I just want to say thank you to every individual that works so hard at SJCS in moving our mission forward, and especially in these challenging times. So thank you so much. I'm just going to mute everyone again, just so we can cut back on that. And then in wrapping up today, I was hoping to show you or share something with you. And before I do that, I also saw a note earlier. I just want to acknowledge Amanda Irwin's contribution to our PowerPoint presentation earlier and the opportunity to reflect on those that we've lost. It was a very touching tribute. So thank you, Amanda, for taking the time and effort to do that. And then this is something I'm going to try to share. I'll share my screen and hopefully this will work. Let me make sure I'm teed up for it. I don't know if you all saw this. This is pretty cool. Hold on 1 second. I'm working it. I'm almost there. Sorry. Thank you for your patience. It'll be worth it. Anyway, so Google, I don't know how many of you know this. I just got turned on to it this morning while I was scrolling through Facebook and a friend of mine popped it up. But Google every year for the last couple of years has released what they call the Year in Search. And so they just released Year in Search 2020. And I thought in watching it earlier, I thought it was so true and so consistent with what our experiences through various town halls over the course of this year have been, and then what we've all seen in the world outside around of us. And so I just wanted to take a moment. I'm going to try to share my screen and see if I can play that for you. Can everybody see that?
Yep.
Okay, let's see if this works.
The most human trait is to want to know why. And in a year that tested everyone around the world, why was searched more than ever.
The spread of the coronavirus has passed a significant milestone.
And while we didn't find all the answers, we kept asking. Some questions inspired joy, others excitement. Life in the bubble. Yes. Yes. Yes.
I don't know what an improper fraction is.
Teachers should make $1 billion.
We found politician, y'all.
Put it on there and start it up for me.
What are y'all doing? It's still March. How many days in March?
Some questions made us cry.
You know, we've been through our ups and been through our downs. I think the most important part is that we all stayed together throughout. I love you guys.
Some made us worry about this spinning rock we call home.
Fires were detected in the Amazon rainforest.
Why were so many lives lost?
Almost 1.5 million people have now died of COVID-19 worldwide.
Why are we still asking the same questions?
George Floyd repeatedly told the officers that he could not breathe.
So why do we still have strength to continue?
I believe in your power. I believe in our power.
Chants of Black Lives Matter echoed from thousands of protesters in cities around the world.
Why are we not defeated?
We have made too much progress, and we are not going back. We are going forward.
Planes are starting to arrive in Beirut, full of international aid.
Firefighters from around the world arriving in California. There are over 100 coronavirus vaccines in development worldwide.
This is one of those times when people look out for one another and have each other's backs.
We kept going for those who showed us the way.
Think about how you would like the world to be for your daughters and granddaughters.
Remember, the struggles along the way are only meant to shape you for your purpose. Press on with pride and press on with purpose.
Why is it that this year showed its worst and we still found ways to triumph?
An incredible feat for Maya Gaviera.
Naomi Osaka, US Open Championship.
Can't let Corona stop you. Can't let quarantine stop you.
So until we get to every answer,
We gon' get it together somehow.
we're still searching.
I hope that you enjoyed that as much as I did. And sorry, I just want to video something playing here. I found it to be incredibly powerful and just, in so many ways, when I think about what we've gone through this year, it's really remarkable. And as I, say goodbye to 2020 over the next couple of weeks and say hello to 2021, I am hopeful and optimistic because with all of you working as hard as you have over the course of this past year, in the midst of such challenges and adversity and loss, like if we can overcome what we've overcome so far, then we can overcome anything that 2021 has to offer us too. And so I just want to thank you all for a tremendous year, a historic one that will live in infamy in some ways for our whole, country and for our communities, but one that I believe will mark a pivotal year for St. John's, and will go down in history. This group of individuals that make up St. John's right now, will be the ones that will have stepped up during the most chaotic, dangerous time in our existence as an organization, and said that they would do what they needed to care for each other and to care for those that were in our care. And so I just want to thank you so much for what you do at every level and in every role. I thank you because you are helping advance our mission, which is vital to the people that we support. And so I wish you, as we head into the last couple of weeks of this year, just tremendous peace. I wish you joy with loved ones, even if it's virtually. And I look forward to seeing you all again and coming back together in 21. And I just want to say thank you for all you've done. Thank you.
All right, peace out.
Thank you, everyone.
All the best, everybody.
Happy holidays.
Happy holidays.
Happy holidays. Oh, there it is.